You can start, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. So good evening, everyone. Indian Medical Association Akola branch welcomes you all to the part 2 of How To's of Fitness series. I'll just share my screen.
Yes, it is.
I welcome you all to the IMA Akola webinar on How To's of Fitness part 2. If you remember the last time, our whole idea was to discussion on for doctors. We did a very good discussion on physical health, and this time we are talking about mental fitness. As you can see, the mental fitness pyramid includes healthy eating, exercises, as well as parts of mental fitness for which our experts are going to be discussing for us. So today we have a star faculty. We have How to Define Fitness by Dr. Mahendra Kade sir, who is the IMA president of Akola branch. We have for mental training, we have none other than Dr. Deepak Kedkar sir, has tremendous following on social media as well as on YouTube. For nutrition, we have our nutritional expert, Dr. Madden, also a physician. All stars in explaining what the next part of fitness would be. So I again welcome you all. And our first speaker is Dr. Mahendra Kade sir. Current I am also past president of Vidarbha Orthopedic, an orthopedic surgeon who has special interests in hip preservation as well as complex trauma. And as a professional, he's excellent. But also with that, he has very keen interest in fitness. In the recently concluded Mahasport event, he had gold medals in athletic events, including discus throw and shot put. So with this brief intro, I would welcome Mahendra Kade sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I am audible and visible. My screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible and आवाज ही है, sir. Yes.
Achha. Good evening, everybody. I welcome you all for this IMS CME on slide show. How To's of Fitness Part 2. I get concerned when world's one of the best football player lands up with the depression and fall prey to the drugs, making himself unable to walk few steps also. It creates doubts in my mind if he was ever fit. When I see that muscular and physically well-built gymnast not able to sleep without AC and a common man having sound sleep without fan, it comes to my mind that who is more fit. When a national player refuses to stay in hotel with Indian style toilet, I am confused about his fitness. When I intend to cancel my travel from Akola to Mumbai just because I can't get reservation in AC compartment, I appreciate fitness of passengers traveling in general compartment. A marathon runner housewife becomes upset if there are 2 extra guests for lunch at her home. If she prefers to hotel on the day when her cooking maid is on leave, what is her level of fitness? physically strong, fit son cannot accommodate his old father and mother in his house and keeps them in an old age home just because it is laborious for him to make their bed and serve them meals. How fit he is and what the use of his physical strength. On the other hand, I was stunned to see fitness of Jyoti Kumari carrying her injured father on bicycle to her hometown, traveling 1200 kilometers in lockdown. I was astonished to see people traveling barefooted with their luggage across the country. I am surprised to see my mentor, Dr. Sudhir Babulkar sir, and our own Akola IMA member, Dr. Ashok Bhopale sir, engage with their heavy professional practice at age around 80s, though they have never been to gym or underwent any physical fitness training. In Japan, Okinawa Island, nicknamed Island of Longevity, locals refuse to die. Residents suffer from low level of heart disease, cancer, and dementia. Okinawians' robust social life and strong sense of ikigai, a unique purpose in life, often keep them alive and healthy past the age of 100. As one of the world's 5 blue zones of longevity, Okinawa is also unique because of close bond between the residents. Most join one or more moai, an informal group of friends who meet regularly to support public work. According to the book Ikigai, the Japanese secret to long and happy life is Okinawans eat diet rich in vegetable and antioxidant food, consume just a third of Japanese average sugar intake, eat their meals on a small plates, and only eat until they feel 80% full. They regularly exert their bodies in low intensity exercise like gardening and household activities. Key to Okinawians' joy and good health are the core of one's true nature that need not be centered on a lofty, material, and power-driven goals. The author writes, they keep themselves busy doing things that give their life meaning. But Okinawians also say that it's important to reconnect with nature, surround yourself with people who love you, and stay active. Their secret of healthy long life lies in working style. They regularly exert their body in low intensity exercise. Their nutrition, robust social life, and unique purpose in life, Ikigai. We Indians have studied the secret of long and healthy life in depth in Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, it consists of Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. It is, I think, it is most scientific way of living long and healthy life. It educates you on the physical, psychological, and social fitness. We being students of modern medicine, we have capability to explore Ashtanga Yoga more scientifically in the light of modern medicine. For example, I being orthopedician, I can clearly see the benefits of one anga of Ashtanga Yoga, that is asana. Yogasana, they are best stretching and strengthening exercises where body weight is used for strengthening. They don't need any special equipment, hence can be practiced anywhere and anytime. Asanas being best stretching and balancing and strengthening exercises, they increase flexibility, balancing and proprioception, increase muscle strength and tone, improves respiration and vitality and energy, maintaining a balanced metabolism. The weight reduction is one of the benefit. Cardio and circulatory health is achieved, improved athletic performance, and they protect from injury. Increase flexibility, balancing and proprioception. They increase muscle strength and tone, respiration, vitality and energy. And this is all regarding physical fitness part of yoga. Today we have well-known speakers, Dr. Deepak Kelkar, to highlight on social and psychological aspect of fitness. At the same time, today we have Dr. Namrata Bhagwat to highlight on nutrition part of physical fitness. Proceedings to our secretary, Dr. Tejas Vaigal. Thank you very much.
Tejas, you are not audible. Tejas.
Okay.
Can
you
need to unmute?
Yeah, sir. Can you hear
yeah.
me now? Okay, great.
Yes, yes.
So thank you, Kade sir, for a wonderful lecture and covering the basic aspects of fitness. It was really enlightening to see that a very interesting aspect which sometimes people in this day and age of vanity, they lose the practical aspect of fitness, which you have really very well covered. We would be discussing the aspects further, but before that, as you have very well introduced our next speaker, I don't think there are lot of words that people need to describe. लोग बोलते हैं नाम ही काफी है, तो वैसे केड़कर सर का नाम ही काफी है for being a psychiatrist par excellence, and he's an excellent speaker and orator. He has multiple followers in social media, and his YouTube videos are watched by all people around the world. So with this small intro, I welcome Deepak Kedkar sir for his lecture on how to train your brain or on mental health.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll just share my slides. Thank you. Yes, I'll go on the slideshow. A little better. Yeah, is it okay now?
Sir, we can't see
Yes.
the full screen. We can't see slideshow.
Okay, okay. Here, yeah. Now, I think it is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, to begin with, I thank IMA Akola for inviting me for this auspicious occasion and this CME. So thank you very much. It's my honor and privilege to be here for the session. So thank you. Today I'm going to talk on the stress, mainly how to manage stress, because stress is a part of our day-to-day life, and actually we don't have to manage stress because stress will be there. We have to manage ourselves. So managing stress is not the problem. Managing ourselves is the problem. We'll see first what are the effects of stress on our body. See, as you know, 55% people who go to general practitioners, they suffer from some sort of psychological problem, and they are just okay with only placebos. 55% people going to general practitioners. So that much is the effect of stress. They are just relieved when they go to doctor. They are relieved. They are given some tonic. They are given some injections. some anti-allergic or some paracetamol, and then they are okay, like they have taken medicine and now they'll be fine. So the effect of stress on the body is like fatigue. There are digestive problems, irritable bowel syndrome, most commonly, acidity, aches and pains, body aches and pains, high blood pressure, hypertension, weakened immune system, and changes in the reproductive system, erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, sterility. So they are the things which are seen. See, we have 4 angels in our brain, 4 angels and 2 soldiers. 2 soldiers are, one is adrenaline and another is steroid, corticosteroids. They are the soldiers. They come running when there is a stress. There is a surge, adrenaline surge and steroid surge. When you are relaxed, when you are enjoying, when you are happy, the 4 angels which are there in the brain are dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. These are the 4 angels. Now we want 4 angels all the time pouring in our brain. But it doesn't happen. From morning till evening, no, we are having some sort of the stress or the other. And then there is an adrenaline surge or the steroid surge. So when there is an adrenaline surge or the steroid surge, either we fight, flight, or lie frigid. Either of the 3 things happen. Now, bodily diseases which are due to stress are hypertension, asthma, diabetes mellitus, macular infarction, heart attacks, tension headaches, migraine, depression, all sorts of somatic symptoms, irritability, irritable bowel syndrome, insomnia, anxiety. So there are the things which are seen, like symptoms which are seen there. What are the causes of stress? Causes of stress is working too hard. And when do we work too hard? We work too hard because we don't like the job. We don't like the job. In most of the surveys, it was seen, it was observed and studied that 90% people, 90%, and this is a lesser number I am telling you, 90% of the people, they said that they don't like their job, what they are doing. They don't like. And then that becomes a hard work for them. So working too hard, working against your wish, will, not working like your passion about, like you are passionate about, then conflicts with friends, job stress, relationships problems. So there are the things which are, and then the medical diseases which we have got. So like that also cause stress. Now this is the thing, how to deal with it. See, when we are born, we are so happy, fully self-expressed. There is nothing wrong with anything. No, full of positivity, enjoying life. There is no negativity, absolutely no stress, no tension, nothing. And as you grow older, say by age 2, language starts coming. So a child starts speaking by age 2, or maybe like 1 year and 9 months or so. And then as you learn the language, then there are so many negativities which are coming. I'll show you the video, how it starts, and then what people do for that, and what we should do for that. One video I'll show you. एक मिनिट हाँ खाली खाली घाला पाहिजे खाली घेते एक मिनिट हाँ yes.
And now coming back to the demo. देखिए ये है पानी, इसका मतलब है this is very clear water and it shows clarity and this is how we are born. हमारे अंदर कोई फ्लॉ नहीं होता, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती, हम बिल्कुल साफ होते हैं, हमारे अंदर कोई अवगुण नहीं होता. लेकिन then life happens. आपको कोई कहता है कि आप छोटे हो, कोई कहता है कि आप मोटे हो, कोई कहता है कि आपसे हो नहीं सकता, कोई कहता है कि आपका लेवल नहीं है, कोई ये भी तक भी कह देता है कि ये आपके बस की बात नहीं है, कोई कहता है कि आपसे कभी नहीं हो पाएगा. फिर कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के चलते, किसी सिचुएशन के चलते, किसी सर्कमस्टांस के चलते आपके अंदर नेगेटिविटी भरती रहती है, और उस क्लियर सॉल्यूशन से आप एक बिल्कुल ही डार्क सॉल्यूशन, यानी कि आप पॉजिटिविटी से नेगेटिविटी की ओर चले जाते हैं, एंड देन यू बिकम रियली रियली नेगेटिव, और आपके अंदर जो सेल्फ टॉक्स है, आपकी जो कॉन्फिडेंस है, वो कंप्लीटली डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाता है और आप पॉजिटिव से नेगेटिव की ओर चले जाते हैं, एंड देन लोग क्विट कर जाते हैं, उनको लगता है कि मेरे से नहीं हो पाएगा, एंड देन आई लीव। लेकिन फिर कुछ सक्सेसफुल लोग होते हैं, फिर कुछ हिम्मती लोग होते हैं जो कि नेगेटिविटी को खत्म करने के बारे में सोचते हैं और वे पॉजिटिविटी से ऐसा करते हैं। तो पॉजिटिविटी, ये तो बहुत ही सिंपल टर्म लगी। फिर लोग क्या करते हैं, जो एवरेज लोग होते हैं, जो नॉर्मल होते हैं, वे पॉजिटिविटी ऐड करने की सोचते हैं। वे थोड़ी पॉजिटिविटी ऐड करी, थोड़ा सा तो सॉल्यूशन क्लियर हुआ, थोड़ा सा तो उनके अंदर पॉजिटिविटी आई, लेकिन अब भी जो आपके अंदर का जो आपका नेचर है वो अभी नेगेटिव है, वो अभी डार्क है। थोड़ी आप और ऐड करते हो और ऐसे ऐसे करते करते आप थक जाते हो, लेकिन आप अपना और पावर लगाते हो और इस बार आप आप फिर इसके बाद आप एक ग्लास के जितना नहीं, मतलब अगर आप रेशियो के अंदर ले, फिर आप एक बहुत ही बड़ा अप्रोच लेते हो और थोड़ा और धीरे 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 ऐड करते रहते हो, लेकिन अब भी कोई खासा फर्क नहीं पड़ता। अब भी जो आपका सॉल्यूशन है वो डार्क है, अब भी आपके अंदर नेगेटिविटी भरी हुई है। तो नाउ द रियल थिंग कम्स इनटू द प्ले। कई लोग अब भी क्विट कर जाते हैं। कई लोग सोचते हैं कि अगर मैंने इतने एफर्ट्स लगा लिया, मैंने पॉजिटिविटी को हराने की इतनी सोच ली, मतलब नेगेटिविटी को हराने का इतना सोच लिया, मैंने इतनी सारी पॉजिटिविटी ऐड करी, लेकिन कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ, एंड देन दे क्विट। एंड नाउ it's the time when the real and the successful people comes into the play, और वे एक ग्लास जितना नहीं, एक जग जितना नहीं, लेकिन एक बहुत ही पावरफुल अप्रोच लगाते हैं और बहुत ही लगातार सोचते रहते हैं, पॉजिटिविटी अपने अंदर लाते रहते हैं और वो सॉल्यूशन क्लियर होता है, और एंड में बहुत ही ज्यादा पावर के साथ, बहुत ही ज्यादा एफर्ट्स के साथ, बहुत ही ज्यादा अपने अंदर पॉजिटिविटी भर के एक ऐसे लेवल पर पहुंच जाते हैं, एक ऐसे मुकाम पर पहुंच जाते हैं कि उनके अंदर नेगेटिविटी का एक भी कण, एक भी एटम नहीं बचता, आप उसको ऐसे कह सकते हैं, और वे नेगेटिविटी को कंप्लीटली डिस्ट्रॉय कर लेते हैं और कंप्लीट पॉजिटिव एप्टीट्यूड और एटीट्यूड को अपना लेते हैं। तो दिस इज व्हाट सक्सेसफुल पीपल डू। तो आपको समझ ही आ गया होगा कि सक्सेसफुल पीपल और नॉर्मल पीपल के बीच में क्या डिफरेंस होता है। सक्सेसफुल लोग पॉजिटिविटी को कभी भी नहीं छोड़ते। जो नॉर्मल लोग होते हैं वे थोड़ा पॉजिटिविटी ऐड करने के बाद रुक जाते हैं, थम जाते हैं, थक जाते हैं, लेकिन जो असली सक्सेसफुल लोग होते हैं वो पॉजिटिविटी को कभी भी नहीं छोड़ते, बिकॉज पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग, पॉजिटिव एप्टीट्यूड इज नॉट what you have to do sometime। थोड़ा सा ऐड करना कभी कभार के बराबर है, लेकिन आपको पॉजिटिविटी को हर एक सेकंड के अंदर, हर एक टाइम के अंदर आपको अपने अंदर फिल करते रहना है, और आपको पॉजिटिविटी का हाथ कभी भी नहीं छोड़ना, क्योंकि अगर आप पॉजिटिविटी को छोड़ देते हैं फिर आप क्विट करते हैं। और ऐसे कई और चीजें, तो गया डेमो। अगर मैं आपको थोड़ा और बताऊं तो पॉजिटिव अगर हमको रहना है, अगर हमको सक्सेसफुल बनना है, तो हमें थोड़ी बहुत और चीजें को अभी याद में रखना होगा। जैसे कि लोग आलोचनाओं से, किसी की बात से, किसी के ताने से, किसी के सरकाज़म से, किसी के काउंटर अप्रोच से थक जाते हैं, डर जाते हैं और वे अपने गोल को पीछे छोड़ देते हैं। वे भूल जाते हैं कि मेरे को क्या करना है और वे नेगेटिविटी के अंदर चले जाते हैं, दे क्विट। जो उनका गोल होता है वे उसको नहीं अचीव करते। लेकिन जब आपके अंदर पॉजिटिविटी भरी हुई होती है तब ऐसा कोई भी ख्याल आपके मन के अंदर नहीं आता, एंड देन यू अचीव व्हाटएवर यू कैन, देन यू कैन अचीव योर पोटेंशियल, योर प्रोडिजी एंड इवन योर टैलेंट। तो
थैंक यू वेरी मच। आपको समझ में आया होगा कि पॉजिटिविटी कैसे लाना है, हाउ टू ब्रिंग पॉजिटिविटी, एंड देयर आर लाइक दिस इज वन पार्ट व्हिच IMA Akola has done, like bringing positivity and actually seeing what we can do about managing stress. So we'll move ahead.
and now coming back to the demo, देखिए ये है,
Yeah. See, we are upset because of three main things. Upsets, विचलित होना, upset हो जाना, three things. One is undelivered communication. We don't speak very frankly, very freely with people. It is in our minds. We don't talk clearly. Undelivered communication that causes upsets in yourself or in others. Next is unfulfilled expectations. अपेक्षा भंग होना, unfulfilled expectations. We have got so many expectations about so many people in our life. We don't tell them that we are expecting this, and then the problem comes. Third one is thwarted intention. Like intention is not fulfilled, it is cut. Thwarted intention. So then, if we observe all these three things and we clarify, clear, like communication is very clear, expectations, they are expressed clearly, and intentions, when they are thwarted, then we know that is thwarted intention. We get aware, acknowledge that, and manage that. The upset will be far away from us. We will not be upset about anything. Next is ये क्या हो रहा है? So unfulfilled expectation is declare your expectation. That is one of the big thing, major thing we can do. So we will not be under stress, tension, anger. Once you declare your expectation, declare your expectation. This is my expectation. So once you are clear about your expectation, and the other person is clear about your expectations, will be free from upset. So clarify expectations. Do not expect perfectionism from others. See, you may be perfect. लोकांना समजलं किंवा नाही याची खात्री करून घ्या. चूक असेल तर सॉरी म्हणा आणि चूक नसेल तरी पण सॉरी म्हणा. See, I tell something to someone, do this thing. He doesn't understand. He says, okay, okay, I'll do. He has not listened it carefully, and he does some other thing. And then I shout, become angry. That simple thing, you have not followed, you have not done this thing, because he has not followed the things. He has not followed my expectations. He has not followed what I have said to him. And then there is a problem. So always you have to see whether he has followed the things. आणि म्हणून ना लहान आपण मोठे माणसं म्हणायचे पहा कि आपको समझ में आया मैंने क्या बोला, बताओ जरा क्या बोला समझ में आया. So he is recreating whatever you have told to him. So then the expectation, the clear orders will be there, and upsets will not be there. Another thing is conditions do not create emotions. Situations do not create emotions. External things do not create emotions. Then who create emotions? Who create emotions? We create our emotions. We create our emotions by telling something to ourselves within fraction of a second. एक सेकंड में हम कुछ तो भी बोल देंगे. Something happens, खटाक एक सेकंड में कुछ तो भी हो जाएगा. We'll talk something to ourselves, and then the emotions are created. And then the emotions are created. So no conditions are creating emotions. We create our emotions by telling something to ourselves. External things do not create emotions. We create our emotions. So that is the internal talk. एक छोटी आवाज अंदर जो अपने चलती रहती है, internal dialogue. That by creating something to ourselves, by telling something to ourselves, we create emotions and then become upset. So we have to observe really what we have told to ourselves. Nothing under the sun is good or bad. Nothing, absolutely nothing is wrong or right. It is the meaning which we apply makes it. Our thinking makes it so. कुछ भी right नहीं है, कुछ भी wrong नहीं है. Nothing, absolutely nothing. अपना नजरिया क्या है? कौन सी नजर से हम देखते हैं? ऐसा हम देखते हैं उसको. उसके ऊपर वो अच्छा है बुरा होता है, सही है गलत होता है, सत्य और असत्य होता है. अदरवाइज दुनिया में सत्य असत्य कुछ भी नहीं है, रॉन्ग राइट कुछ भी नहीं है, अच्छा बुरा कुछ भी नहीं है. अपना नजरिया कैसा है उसके ऊपर है. Now we have to get ourselves very clear about what is our perception about the things, what we are perceiving. Situations do not disturb us. It is our view of the situations that disturb us. कौन सी नजर से हम देख रहे हैं, कैसा देख रहे हैं, वो हमको डिस्टर्ब करते रहता है. So you cannot change situations. You can change how to look and interpret the situation. That you can change. And that we have to learn. A famous psychiatrist, I'm just going to tell you the TED talk, 75 years study of Harvard University from America. Many of you might have seen this video, but still I would like to again show you the video. Let's see, what about being happy, how to be happy and prosperous in life. So उसमें कैसा करना है उसके बारे में famous psychiatrist Waldinger, what he says about that.
What if we could study people from the time that they were teenagers all the way into old age to see what really keeps people happy and healthy? For 75 years, we've tracked the lives of 724 men. About 60 of our original 724 men are still alive, still participating in the study, most of them in their 90s. When they entered the study, all of these teenagers were interviewed, they were given medical exams. We went to their homes and we interviewed their parents. And then these teenagers grew up into adults who entered all walks of life. They became factory workers and lawyers and bricklayers and doctors, one president of the United States. And when about a decade ago we finally asked the wives if they would join us as members of the study, many of the women said, you know, it's about time. So what have we learned? The clearest message that we get from this 75-year study is this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier. We've learned 3 big lessons about relationships. The first is that social connections are really good for us and that loneliness kills. It turns out that people who are more socially connected to family, to friends, to community are happier, they're physically healthier, and they live longer than people who are less well connected. And the sad fact is that at any given time, more than 1 in 5 Americans will report that they're lonely. And we know that you can be lonely in a crowd and you can be lonely in a marriage. So the second big lesson that we learned is that it's not just the number of friends you have, and it's not whether or not you're in a committed relationship, but it's the quality of your close relationships that matters. It turns out that living in the midst of conflict is really bad for our health. High conflict marriages, for example, without much affection, turn out to be very bad for our health, perhaps worse than getting divorced. And living in the midst of good, warm relationships is protective. And the third big lesson that we learn is that good relationships don't just protect our bodies, they protect our brains. It turns out that being in a securely attached relationship to another person in your 80s is protective. That the people who are in relationships where they really feel they can count on the other person in times of need, those people's memories stay sharper longer. So what about you? Let's say you're 25, or you're 40, or you're 60. What might leaning into relationships even look like? It might be something as simple as replacing screen time with people time, or livening up a stale relationship by doing something new together, long walks or date nights, or reaching out to that family member who you haven't spoken to in years. The good life is built with good relationships.
Thank you.
What if we could study?
So another thing which is problematic with every one of us, most of us, is one illness that is called as perfectionism. I must do it perfectly well so that people will appreciate me, or else I am worthless. It's an illness. This illness is called as 100% accuracy syndrome. I must do it perfectly well so that people will appreciate me, or else I am worthless. So people try to do it perfectly. And then being perfectionism, like being perfectionistic, is a problem. And that causes a lot of stress. And then you don't move ahead. लोक काय म्हणतील, आणखीन काय लोक काय म्हणतील, हा मोठा रोग आहे, बहुत बड़ी बीमारी है ये. लोग क्या कहेंगे, बाकी लोग आपल्याबद्दल काय विचार करतात हे चिंता करू नका, कारण तुम्ही काय विचार करता आहात याची चिंता करण्यात ते व्यस्त है. मगर हमको एक बहुत बड़ा सिंड्रोम है LKK सिंड्रोम, लोग क्या कहेंगे. और लोग क्या कहेंगे सिंड्रोम से हम बच सकेंगे तो बहुत बड़ी बीमारी हमारी दूर हो जाएंगी, and then we'll be self-expressed. So LKK syndrome that we have to treat ourselves. Then stop complaining. Stop complaining. People complain from morning till evening. Focus your attention and be thankful to what you have rather than what you don't have. But we are having attention on what? बट वी डोंट हैव. ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है, ऐसा होना चाहिए, वैसा होना चाहिए, फलाना होना चाहिए, ढमाका होना चाहिए, ये बराबर नहीं है, ठीक नहीं है, ऐसा उसने क्यों बोला, उसने ऐसा नहीं करा. कंटिन्यू चालू है कंप्लेनिंग अबाउट. बारिश आ गई तो ज्यादा बारिश आ गई, कम आ गई तो कम आ गई, धूप है तो ज्यादा धूप है, कम है तो कम है. Complaining, there are some people they have achieved PhDs in complaining. They complain, continuously complain. So stop complaining and take responsibility of the situation. Take responsibility. Like start doing something at that particular situation rather than complaining. Because the person who complains, those people who complain, they suffer from hypertension more commonly, diabetes mellitus, bronchial asthma. So don't complain. They have got body aches and pains. People who complain. Lot many people whom I have counseled for backaches, body aches and pains, somatic symptoms, I just counsel them for stop complaining. They stop complaining, start taking responsibility, and then they're all right. See, words कितने powerful है उसके बारे में आपको वीडियो बताता हूँ. Words कितने powerful है, हमने कितना मतलब तोल मूल के बोल करना चाहिए, तोल मूल के बोल, इसके बारे में वीडियो बताता हूँ, आपको ख्याल रखूंगा. अगर हम देखते ही नहीं है कि हम जो बोलते हैं, जो शब्द निकालते हैं हमारे मुंह से, सामने वालों के ऊपर उसका क्या असर होता है. We don't know that. We don't appreciate that. Yes. Get present to the following fears. Fear of being embarrassed. Fear of failing. And fear of making mistakes. ये बहुत बड़े problematic काम है. That causes a lot of stress. Get present to the fears. Like these are the fears. And actually fears are where? Fears are in the head, not outside. So when we are having fear, we are in the head. Not living in the life. Not being in the life. We are not in the life when we are having fear. We are in the head. So you have to come out of your head and be a part of life and start living life out here. Because life is happening outside, not inside. Fear is inside. And it is always inauthentic. Nothing is going to happen. But then we become so stressed because of that. Don't compare your life with others. You have no idea what their journey is all about. हम क्या करते हैं, हम काफी कंप्लेन करते रहते हैं और कंपेयर भी करते रहते हैं. मेरी सारी से उसकी सारी सफेद क्यों? मेरे पास में जो है वो उसके पास में नहीं होना चाहिए. मेरे पास में जो है वो उसके पास में नहीं होना चाहिए, और उसके पास में जो है वो मगर मेरे पास में होना चाहिए. ये हमारा नजरिया रहता है कि उसके पास में जो है मेरे पास में, मगर मेरे पास में उसके पास में नहीं होना चाहिए. इतना कंपैरिजन है और दैट कॉजेस लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रेस. मेरे बच्चे को इतने कम मार्क क्यों मिले, बाजू वाले को बच्चों को इतने मार्क ज्यादा क्यों मिले? So it is about me, not about my child getting good or bad marks or lesser marks. Doing the same thing again and again, expecting different results is insanity, but we are not aware of that. That also causes stress. Now, how to reduce stress? बीच में बता रहा हूँ. Show up on time every time. Doing what you said you will do and doing it on time. जो बोला वो करो, जो समय पे बोला वो समय पे करो. Complete and finish what you started. Say please and thank you every time. Appreciate smallest deed of another person. छोटी से छोटी कुछ भी अच्छी बात सामने वाला करता है ना, उसको appreciate करो. People are really hungry for appreciation. आपके यहाँ कोई मेहमान आ गया ना, उसको आपने कुछ खाना खाने के लिए बोला नहीं, या खाना पीना चाय पाने के लिए कुछ बोला नहीं, तो कुछ बोलेगा नहीं, कुछ उसको बुरा लगेगा नहीं. आप उसको appreciate करो, उसकी वाह करो, उसकी तारीफ करो, बस उसका पेट भर जाए. Everyone is hungry about that. और एक वीडियो बताता हूँ, बहुत ही फैंटास्टिक वीडियो है, कि जब हम स्ट्रेस में आते हैं, तनाव में आते हैं, पता नहीं क्या करना समझ में नहीं आता है, तो एक शब्द, एक गोल्डन स्टेटमेंट मैं आपको देता हूँ, जो अभी आपको दिखेगा वीडियो में. दिस टू शैल पास. दिस टाइम मतलब दिस टाइम ऑल्सो विल पास. ये भी समय निकल जाए, जो भी बुरा समय आपके ऊपर आया, बस जस्ट वेट, वॉच एंड बी पेशेंट. बुरा समय निकल जाएगा, ठीक है ना. मैं आपको एक और बताता हूँ, वीडियो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है.
They see my disability, I see my ability. They call me disabled, I call myself differently abled. There are some incidents that happen in your life Those incidents break you, deform you, but they mold you into the best version of you. And the same thing happened to me. I was 18 years old when I got married. My father wanted me to get married. And all I said was, if that makes you happy, I'll say yes. And of course, it was never a happy marriage. Just about after 2 years of getting married, I met a car accident. Somehow my husband fell asleep and the car fell in the ditch. He managed to jump out, saved himself. I'm happy for him. But I stayed inside the car and I sustained a lot of injuries. The list is a bit long, don't get scared. The wrist was fractured. Shoulder bone and collarbone were fractured. My whole rib cage got fractured. And because of the rib cage injury, lungs and liver were badly injured. I couldn't breathe. I lost urinary bowel control. That's why I have to wear the bag wherever I go. 3 vertebrae of my backbone were completely crushed, and I got paralyzed for the rest of my life. I finally ended up in a hospital where I stayed for 2.5 months. I underwent multiple surgeries. One day, doctor came to me and he said, well, I heard that you wanted to be an artist, but you ended up being a housewife. I have a bad news for you. You won't be able to paint again because your wrist and your arm are so deformed, you won't be able to hold a pen again. Next day, doctor came to me and said, your spine injury is so bad, you won't be able to walk again. Because of your spine injury and the fixation that you have in your back, you won't be able to give birth to a child again. That day, I was devastated. I asked my mother, why me? And that is where I started to question my existence. Why am I even alive?
ये क्या हो गया? बंद हो गया वीडियो?
They see my disability, I see my ability. They call me disabled, I call myself differently able. 3 vertebrae of my backbone were completely crushed. For 2.5 months, you won't be able to paint again because your wrist and your arm are so deformed, you won't be able to hold a pen again. Next day, doctor came to me and said, your spine injury is so bad, you won't be able to walk again. Because of your spine injury and the fixation that you have in your back, you won't be able to give birth to a child again. That day, I was devastated. I asked my mother, why me? And that is where I started to question my existence. Why am I even alive?
तो उसके बाद में like the video is not full here. The next thing is her mother told her that look, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. ये भी दिन निकल जाएगा. हरदम ये golden statement ख्याल में रखिएगा. This too shall pass. ये भी दिन निकल जाएगा. Okay, good. Next thing is, as I told earlier, 90% people, so many studies has been cleared that 90% or more than 90% people, they don't love their job and then they are under stress. They work too hard. Then choose the job of your choice and you do not have to work even for a single day in your life. And if you don't have the job of your choice, start loving the job which you are doing. Start living the job which you are doing. So these are the tips: sleep well, tackling the problem, exercise, go on vacation, time management, meditation and relaxation, hypnotherapy, develop hobbies, eat balanced diet. There are so many tips for stress management which every one of you know. आपल्या ध्येयपूर्तीच्या मध्ये असंख्य अडथळे येतील. त्याला मी म्हणतो ऍक्टिव्हेटिंग इव्हेंट. गाडीमध्ये गर्दी राहील, ट्रॅफिक हवालदार गाडी पकडेल, घरामध्ये वृद्ध एवढी मोठ्या आवाजात टीव्ही लावून बसले असतील, पत्नीने जेवण तयार केलं नसेल, प्रत्येक 5 मिनिटाला तुमच्या समोर 10 ऍक्टिव्हेटिंग एजंट किंवा इव्हेंट असू शकतात. आणि एक मनुष्य म्हणून आपण भावनिक दृष्ट्या विचलित होणारच. That is why I said we have to manage ourselves. We can't manage the environment. So manage ourselves. So it's a stress management. No, our management, self-management. It is not stress management. So still, if you start loving people, आप यदि प्यार करते हो लोगों से, लोगों की मदद करते हो, लोगों को contribute करते हो. Like I tell so many of my patients who are taking antidepressants, I say them, okay, start contributing, start doing charity, start loving people, be with people, stay with people, and your stress and your depression will be out. It will be over. तो एक लास्ट वीडियो बताता हूँ and then I will conclude my talk. एक बहुत ही अच्छा वीडियो मुझे दिखा, यह है मुन्ना भाई की झप्पी, है ना. कैसा भी रहो, कुछ भी रहो, आप प्यार से झप्पी लोगों को मारो, उसके दिल में भी आपके लिए बहुत अच्छी जगह हो जाएगी और आपको भी बहुत अच्छा लगेगा. सो जस्ट मुन्ना भाई की झप्पी. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, Kedkar sir, for a very interesting and very superb talk as always. Kade sir, do you have any comments on such a wonderful lecture and any questions for sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Kedkar sir has always been promoting the active participations and positive energy all over the Akola district and out. I have experienced it many times, and probably he himself is an ideal of IMA regarding his energy and positive attitude. Sir, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for delivering such a beautiful lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kedkar sir.
उसने जो भी एक सवाल किया, वो लेडी का नाम क्या है, वो व्हीलचेयर वाली मुनीबा मदारी इसका नाम है, पाकिस्तानी लेडी है वो, मुनीबा मदारी. वो वीडियो आपको मिल जाएगा इसके YouTube के ऊपर मिल जाएगा.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So we move on to the next lecture of our How To series. And I invite our next speaker, Dr. Namrata Bhagat Madam, who is a practicing interventional pain physician from Akola. As far as education is concerned, she is an MBBS, MD anesthesiologist and a pain fellow. She has done her diploma in nutrition and fitness, certification in clinical nutrition activities and women's health from the Institute of Nutrition and Fitness, and she also is an active sportsman. The sport that she pursues is competitive swimming. So over to Namrata Madam on how to eat right and have good nutrition.
Thank you, sir. I'll just start my screen sharing. Is my screen visible?
Yes, madam, it is visible. Full screen is visible.
Yes. Now, the thing is that it's a very big topic to talk about, and I've been we have a very less time, and I tried to make it concise. So, how to eat right? Now, this is a very broad topic. So we will start with why do we need to eat right? Why is it so important? What if I just eat anything? So my body is going to metabolize everything. So why do I need to eat right? So because the three main goals are, it generates energy. The food we eat actually acts as the fuel to our body to efficiently carry out our everyday tasks. And being doctors, we all know there are three major macronutrients, that is carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. Carbs give 4 calories per gram, lipids 9 calories, and proteins 4 calories per gram. Then boosting immunity. Same, these whatever we eat fuels, and whatever algorithm we have in our human body to fight with the infection, that is energized because of the food we eat. And of course, the collateral advantage is keeping the body in shape. So if it is well planned and you have proper goals, then you have a good body. Now the thing is, more than this fuel, we all have started eating for pleasure, as a prestige issue, to fuel some emotions. So now why to eat right? So we'll just start with this. Now first you should have proper goals. what is your goal and why do you want to eat right. So it will differ from person to person. So somebody with a small height cannot say, I want to be as tall as Hrithik Roshan and I want to look like him. You have to have very realistic goals. And if like we are doctors, we need to be fit for first and foremost. Like if there's a model, she has to go into fat loss and she has to become like very contoured and have all the curvatures of a body nice. So therefore, you have to have specific SMART goals that is specific to your goal, your needs, measurable. You should be able to measure it. So if you're on a fat loss journey, you should be able to measure it. Like if this week I am able to lose this much. Because if you just put in some random thing, ki nahi, agle saal tak I want to lose weight, it won't happen. How much, till when, at what rate, and they should be achievable. Like if somebody with 137 kgs cannot say that in 3 months I will achieve 80 kgs. That is not achievable, and you go on a crash diet and then you lose motivation. Of course, they should be realistic, and they should be basically time bound, because what happens if you do not bind yourself with time, then you're like procrastinating. So goals. So now people will differ in their goals. Somebody will have a goal of fat loss, somebody will want inch loss, somebody will want muscle gain. So a lean person will want a muscle gain. They will want to increase their weight. Somebody will want strength and conditioning, increasing stamina, providing for family. Some people, they just want to stay independent. They do not want to be dependent. And some may want to improve their lipid profile. So first and foremost, define your goal. Now again, once your goal is defined, you will have to decide what quantity of food you will eat and what quality will you eat. So nowadays, everything is skewed in various directions. One of the influencers will say, eat this, that, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, so and so, and everything will be skewed to the quality, and the quantity is gone. So you will eat lots of pumpkin seeds, lots of chia seeds, and lots of almonds, lots of high energy kaju, walnuts to make your brain sharp. And what will happen? You'll gain weight. But you have to balance between the quality and quantity. Let's first just understand this, and I'm sure all of us know this because we all are medicos. Total daily energy expenditure is what calories you are expending, or what are kitna kharcha kar rahe ho ek din mein. So basically 65% around, these will be in a range. It's not like 65, it could be 65, 70, kisi ka 60, kisi ka 80. So the major chunk is your basal metabolic rate. Then comes your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. How active you are in your life. Like sedentary lifestyle hoti hai, kuch pade hote hain, couch potatoes hote hain, and some people are very active. So your need, non-exercise. Then comes your thermic effect of food. So whatever we eat, it requires energy to get digested. So proteins have a good PEF. So when you eat, if it is easily digested, like these processed foods, junk foods, they get digested very quick. So there is no energy expenditure in digesting it. That PEF is 10% for every food we eat. I mean, is the 10% of the contribution of that total daily energy expenditure is by PEF. And then comes your exercise induced, like when we exercise. But exercise also has other benefits of conditioning, giving you strength, increasing stamina, cardiorespiratory, improving cardiorespiratory fitness, and a whole lot of range of benefits. So now, according to goals, we have to go. If whatever you eat and whatever comes out, you expend, if that is equal, you will maintain your current weight. If you eat less, not eat less. If you eat the less calories, it's not always equal to eating less. I'll come to that. So less in calories and more expenditure, you will have fat loss. Why am I saying fat loss and not weight loss? Because weight consists of muscle, your bones, body water, and fat. So we just want to lose the fat and we don't want to affect anything else. In fact, we want to increase the muscle mass because 1 pound of muscle burns 6 calories as compared to 1 pound of fats, which burns just 2 calories. So you will always be in profit when you will have a good muscle mass. So good muscle mass does not mean you have to become a bodybuilder. It's like whatever you have, maintaining it, and not because sarcopenia starts building up at the age of 30. So we start losing our muscles if we don't challenge them. Then surplus. So some people want to become bodybuilders, go into heavy lifting competition, power lifters. So then they eat in surplus. So they eat more calories and more proteins, and they train very hard so that only their muscles develop and they gain a little fat. So whenever you want to plan your diet for yourself or your family or for people around you, always pay attention to the nutritional priorities pyramid. Now this is found widespread on Google. I have taken from Google because lots of books also mention this. So lots of images are available. First and foremost, there's a reason why your carbs, proteins, and fats are called macronutrients, because they are macros. They are the ones who decide your dietary intervention results. So 50% is taken by the calories in versus calories out. I understand many people will say कि ये तो calories देखना होता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, अच्छा खाओ. It's not like that. You have to have some objectivity. So calories in versus calorie out. How much energy are you taking inside your body? That will decide towards which side are you going as a result. Then your macronutrient composition. So you have to pay attention to your proteins. As an Indians, we eat a lot of carbohydrates. We love carbohydrates. So we have a lot of carbs in our diet. We have very little protein and lot of fats, because majority of our dishes are combination of carbs and fats and nice thick creamy gravies, and we are full. So that gravy will eat only half katori and will say I am still not losing. So it's not like that. We need to understand the composition of these macronutrients in our diet. Then the nutrient timing and frequency. Somebody will say twice a day, some will say 6 times a day, some will say 8 times, some will say go on intermittent fasting, go mad, lots of stuff. Then food composition, then supplements. So all these go to top. So supplements won't decide what is your result. Food composition won't decide what's your result. Like like are you making rotis or are you making rice? It will not decide your result. What will decide your result is the macronutrient composition. Now, which ones to choose? Because majority of us are vegetarians. So let's just face the fact that the quality of proteins is good in non-vegetarian. And that's fine. We don't need to change our orientation just because we want good quality proteins. But let's face it, good quality protein means the amino acid profile of that protein, the amino acids at the biological value which our body will easily assimilate to make our own protein. So they have these ready-made amino acids. Now, if we go into details, it will be a big lecture. So it's like essential amino acids, the 9 amino acids easily are available in all these, whatever I've listed some sources. There are many others. But one thing we have to say is 0.8 to 1.8 grams per kg body weight is your protein requirement. And we can't just, start from tomorrow that I now will go to 1.8 grams per kg. No, because if you are eating less proteins, you'll have to start slowly. 0.8, then 1. For that, you should know your weight. For that, you should know how many grams of protein will you require as per your weight. And you'll be started to see that many of us eat very less protein. So if average each one of us is 60 kgs, we need at least 60 grams protein every day in our diet. There are a lot of apps available on the Play Store and your Apple Store, and you just put in the values of what we're eating and you realize that we are taking just 25 to 30 grams every day. So we have a big dearth. So we need these needs to be addressed. So eggs, chicken, fish, curd, milk, soya chunks is a good source of proteins for vegetarians. Lentils, dal, I eat a lot of dal. But we have to remember that dal also has carbs. It is also a carb source. The moment you increase your dal quantity, your carb source increases. So you have to decrease some carb source somewhere else. So it has to be planned very properly. It needs time, commitment. Cheese, whey proteins. This is just why I put this slide is because protein is building block of the body and it contributes to structures like nails, hair, skin. It is not to be used for energy production by the body. Ideally, body has the capacity to produce glucose from anything, but protein should be spared for building the structure. Which ones to choose again? Now fat. So at least 30% energy should come from fats. A lot of people will totally forego fats. Like, no, fats are bad. Fats are not bad. Fats are good. Majority of our hormones are fats. The luster in our skin is fat. So we need to concentrate on what kind of fats we have to take. So then this is WHO guideline. There are many other guidelines. So less than 10% from saturated fats. Nothing should come from trans fat, because with industrialization and urbanization, there are lots and lots of preservatives and ready-made processed foods coming up with trans fats. And we should skew more towards the polyunsaturated fatty acids. All this are given in the label of that oil or whatever we are using. So we had in PSM, we had a big list of PSM, we had a whole list of polyunsaturated to saturated. Fatty acid give energy by detoxification, the Krebs pathway. Now carbs. So now carbs is one such thing which we can go low on, because proteins is defined that much per kg, fats at least 30%. So whatever is remaining, you can adjust with carbs. So in day-to-day life, we eat a lot of carbs. Everything is carbs. Sugar is bad is not a thing, but the thing is that sugar will finish off your calories very fast. Now strategies to achieve our goals. Now this is just a way which leads to your goal. These are not goals itself. So even if you do intermittent fasting, you eat twice a day, you eat 6 times a day, you do keto diet, low carb, high carb, skipper diet, ad shake, paleo, pescatarian, whatever it is. But if your calories are surpassing your energy expenditure, you are going to gain. If your calories are less than your more than your energy expenditure, the intake is less than your energy expenditure, you're going to lose fat. That is the truth. Now, this is how we manipulate calories. These are the strategies. So let's say 2000 kilocalories is the need for an average individual. So this is how the diet type, if it is high carb. So these are the ratios of your protein, carbs, and fat. If it's a moderate carb, then these are the ratios. So this is just a strategy to achieve your calories. Your proteins should not go down. Protein is the foremost which has to be addressed. Low carb, keto diet, these are not sustainable because we are primarily a carb eating country. And then custom diet. Custom diet is what I just said. Like first divide your proteins, then your fats, and whatever is remaining is your carbs. Now of this 2000, it's up to us what we choose, because now the body, this one is sorted. Less calories than expenditure, fat loss. More calories than expenditure, surplus. But then we also need nourishment. We want good quality foods. We want something which will keep us full for a longer time and not give us hunger pangs, or which should give us good quality food. So therefore it becomes very important to choose good quality of food. Now, the industries will post advertisements like, my food is healthy, eat my brand's like food. But we have to be, being doctors, we have to be very aware what is processed. So that basically whatever you find ready-made is processed, because it's easy. It's easy. You just have to open a packet and pop it. That's all. So these will give you 2000 calories, but these will finish off very soon. They won't fill your stomach for the day. So you have a nice heavy 2000 calorie ice cream in the morning, but by afternoon and by evening, you're starving. And then you'll eat, and then again you'll gain. Same, there's a man who did this experiment. He kept on eating ice creams for 1 month, 2 months, less calories than what was required. So he lost fat, he lost weight, but by the end of that time, he had dark circles, he was very low on energy, he had a lot of inertia. So he realized that the quality, the feeling of his life had changed. And this is 2000. So now if you put all your regular good stuff in 2000, it will be a lot of food. You'll be like, itna kaise khao? So you have to choose very, very wisely foods which will give you more satiety, but which are low in calories. And of course, for that, you need to study a little more of, calories, kahan se kitni aa rahi hai. It's very easy. Once you get into that habit, and if you inculcate in the kids, they learn very fast. So again, one will say, I just eat 1 bowl of rice every day, but I don't lose fat. Then somebody will say, I eat only 2 bowls or 3 bowls, but I don't gain. So everybody's size of bowl is different. Now we have to have uniformity somewhere. So if I say you need to weigh your food, everybody is like, what? Aisa kaisa ho sakta hai? How am I going to weigh my food? Hum nahi ginte, food ko kabhi ginna nahi chahiye. So it's not that. It's like, aap ginte hi ho. So because ek katri chawal nikalte ho if you have 2 people at home. So if some guests come over, you will put in more katoris. So you're anyways measuring your food in some other terms. So if you start weighing your food raw on a scale, on a actually measuring scale, you will start getting objectivity. And you realize that रोज मैं जो 50 ग्राम राइस खा रहा था, मेरा एपेटाइट तो 30 ग्राम्स का ही था. मैं तो 50 ही खा रहा था क्योंकि मेरी कटोरी में आ रहा था तो मैं ही खा रहा था. So but this is like a preparation leave for your exam. तो एग्जाम में जब पीएल होती थी तो हम बहुत पढ़ते थे. 3 महीना नो पिक्चर, कुछ नहीं, पार्टी नहीं, कुछ नहीं, पढ़ाई कोई शादी नहीं, कुछ नहीं. हम पढ़ते थे. वो हमें काम कब आया? एग्जाम के बहुत बाद. Same is about the nutrition. You have to study. रोज थोड़ा इंकलकेट करके करेंगे, थोड़ी मेहनत करेंगे तो रिजल्ट बाद में बहुत अच्छा है. So even oil, सो वी जस्ट अंदाज से डालते हैं, बट ये जो टीस्पून होते हैं ना बेकिंग के लिए लगने वाले, 1 teaspoon is 5 ml. So for one person for one day 20 to 30 ml is enough. That depends on what is your goal, but utna ho jata hai, but we end up putting a lot more oil in our food. Now this is just a demo. You don't need to, like, it looks like a very complicated slide. You can take a screenshot, but this is just a demo. So a lot of food apps are available. I did this just for the presentation. I found out the values of most commonly consumed food in our like what we consume, and just see the ratio of the macros and the calories coming. So the पहला जो है वो है calories coming from that particular food, फिर है proteins, carbs and fats. तो ये जो calories है वो कुछ बहुत अलग नहीं है. Rice, wheat, oats, रागी, ज्वार, बाजरा, bread, whiskey, sugar, oil. So ये जो oil तो खैर बहुत ज्यादा है, oil is fat source. 1 gram will give 9 calories. तो अभी ये देखो, तो बहुत जो डिबेट चलता है ना, राइस खाओ या व्हीट खाओ या ओट्स खाओ या रागी खाओ या ज्वार खाओ, almost same quantities, 50 ग्राम. So PCF almost same है. 3.3, 39 your carb sources है ये, देखो 39, 37, 33, 31, 30 same range. So ये जो पूरा ये है ना कि लोग अपना नॉर्मल व्हीट फ्लावर छोड़ के फिर कुछ तो दुकान से ऑनलाइन से ये फ्लावर वो आटा, it doesn't really matter because क्वालिटी अच्छी है, हमारे सब जेनेटिकली हम यही खाते आ रहे हैं. So if somebody promises something to you for weight loss, some kind of flour, it is just that they are planning a less calorie intake. That's all. Same milk, curd, egg में अच्छा प्रोटीन होता है, chicken has good protein, fish, दाल, soya chunks, ये 10 ग्राम almonds का, इसमें lipid content ज्यादा हो जाते हैं. So once you start studying, and these are the basic components of our daily diet, you'll start getting an idea. Now vegetables and fruits. WHO itself says that 400 grams of fruits and veggies तो आपके food में everyday होना चाहिए. Now हम जब सब्जी बनाते हैं, we end up taking very less sabzi and lot of protein, lot of dal and lot of rice, which basically proportion is not good. Veggies actually have to be 200 grams. If you actually count them on the weighing scale, you'll be like, itna khana. So you can make salad, you can make a routine sabzi, and then if you take combination, you'll have a nice fulfilling meal. Now again the same thing. You have to wisely devise your plan as per satiating foods, because you want to feel full, not feel hungry, and at the same time you have to eat less calories. So all these wholesome foods which we have to make, which we eat, like whatever is in our diet, all these are less in calories and high volume foods. So fibers, veggies, cereals, potatoes, the fatty foods, high protein foods. These, if you eat thoda bhi na, so you will feel satiated. You'll be like bahut kha liya. But if you eat a lot of carbs, only carbs, combination is important. Then what will happen? आपको लगेगा बहुत खाया है, but at 4 o'clock you start getting hungry. You crave for sugar. The चाय की तलब आती है, that's what चाय की तलब, that's sugar की तलब. So you get that. Therefore, proportion is very important. And same about calorie dense, low volume foods. This is what happens. So people say almonds are good, peanuts are good, fried nuts, sauces, jams, and what we do, इतना सा तो खाना है, इतना सा करके हमारा प्लेट में हम हर उत्तपम के साथ थोड़ा सॉस लेते हैं. And what happens? You end up eating a lot of sauce. These are energy packed, calories packed, but low volume foods. पता ही नहीं चलता कब ज्यादा खा. These are the major things which give you cravings if you go on crash diet. If you suddenly create a deficit कि मुझे maintenance के लिए 2000 लग रहा है, मैं तो 1500 से शुरू करूँ. So that 500 body इससे भरवाती है, इसकी cravings आते हैं. So very simple triad of diet planning is satiety. You should feel full. There's no reason to starve. You should not get hunger pangs. We are doctors. We have to work so much. तो पूरा ध्यान ही अगर भूख में रहे तो there's no point. Convenience. It should be easy to cook. थोड़ा बहुत ऐसा ये सब करके जुगाड़ना है तो 1-2 दिन चलेगा, उसका भी lose motivation. And goals. You have to have goals. So bingo. What to choose then? Choose from your routine daily foods. And yes, you can do it. Locally available. आजू बाजू में ही मिल जाता है. Culturally acceptable. So if you are a vegetarian, it's no need कि भैया non-vegetarian बहुत अच्छा होता है तो now I'll come to. And at the same time, don't need to shame a non-vegetarian. हाँ रे अच्छा है. Easy to make as per your convenience. Easy to make होना चाहिए. बहुत कुछ करके बनाना है तो again you lose interest. No need to go exotic and import like some nice fad, some ये आ रहा है, quinoa आ रहा है. Many people like quinoa. So quinoa is like good quality protein in vegetarian food. But people don't like it. Bloating हो जाता है उससे. There are a lot of carbs in that. So no need to like खाना ही है because it's the food fat. ऐसा नहीं है. अच्छा लगता है खा लो, छोड़ दो. नहीं तो oats अच्छा लगता है खा लो, नहीं तो छोड़ दो. And then अवॉइड प्रोसेस्ड फूड्स एंड फाइंड आउट वेइंग इक्विवेलेंट. तो ठीक है, नहीं जम रहा है रोज 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 उसको गिनना, तो एक कटोरी ऐसी ढूंढ लो कि जो भर के आपको पता है इट इज 50 ग्राम्स और पता है इट इज 30 ग्राम्स, एंड देन मल्टीप्लाई विद इक्विवेलेंट. लाइक आपके दो कपल का फैमिली है तो इनटू 2. इनिशियली मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, स्लोली स्लोली यू विल गेट अ हैंग, अ विजुअल पोर्शनिंग आ जाएगा. So now there are some takeaway points जो मैंने बनाए हैं. These are general. How to eat right. So decide your energy intake. Okay. It cannot be 2000 dot. आप अगर 2000 बोल रहे हो तो आपका 2500, 2100 to 1900 के बीच में स्प्रे होगा. But you need to just have a number in your mind. Keep your protein intake to 0.2 to 1.2 grams. If you're working out, if you're an active person, you need to go higher. Some bodybuilders and powerlifters go to 2.2 grams. Lipids, keep lipids in your diet. Fats are not bad. Last, adjust carbs. Choose those rich in fibers, those which are wholesome and metabolize slowly. That is glycemic load. A glycemic index अलग होता है. Glycemic load is the glycemic index multiplied by how much quantity you are taking. So the glycemic load matters. So potato chips का जो glycemic index है वो कम है as compared to your potato. But the glycemic load is higher because potato chips आप एक या दो पे नहीं रुकते, आप पूरा पैकेट भी खा जाओ तो दूसरा भी खोल लो. Potatoes आप ज्यादा नहीं खा पाओगे. So water, water intake. Water is also one of the macronutrients. So water intake has to be around 2.7 to 3.7 liters per day, depending on the ambient temperature. If it's very cold, keep it on the low side, but keep drinking water. At least 4 bottles of 500 ml you should drink every day. Make it a point. Most of us will forget drinking water, and our main signal to drink water is thirst. So thirst तक बात नहीं जानना चाहिए. You should drink water. Then pair a high protein with a high fat for satiety. So if you're eating a meal, so you should have less carbs. You should have a high protein diet like your soya or your chicken, and high fat, paneer. So if you lots of veggies, so this will give you satiety. And just one roti or 1.5, depending on your goal, will give you satiety. But if you end up having some tarri, masala, raste wala, and little salad, and lots of paneer and gravy and lots of roti, you'll feel full. But then again, it will not keep you full for long because all this will be metabolized fast. So high fat but less oil. Then high fat will be paneer plus a lot of gravy. Oil will be very high fat. So that's then your goal is crossed. So you have to have a balance there. Have vegetable salad with every meal. Make sure it's okay if you can have curd also. If you like it, you can definitely keep 1 katori. Now I have to tell you in 1 katori terms because 100 grams, usually we give 100 grams to the clients depending on their goal. Then the chances of eating hyperpalatable carbs decrease when we eat proteins. So so many of us love idli sambar, but what happens is we eat a lot of idlis and we eat very less sambar and we eat a lot of chutney. So the equation is gone. So therefore you have to see to it that you have high proteins. Eat fruits in proportion. Do not overeat. So when mangoes come, what we do? A peti ki peti kha jate. So no, half mango to 1 mango, 100 grams to 150 grams is fine. This is in general. I'm talking about somebody with a 2000 calorie maintenance and can have carbs at night. Because many people say carbs को रात को खाने से मोटापा आ जाता है, नहीं खाना चाहिए. Usually the carbs have been found to give a good quality of sleep. So basically ऐसा बोलते हैं कि you can in the breakfast you can have high protein and high fat diet so that you last long, and in the evening you can have a high carb diet so that you sleep well. And ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि breakfast करना ही करना है. हमारा we being doctors we need to be full because we have heavy work. That's why we go into breakfast and everything. But if you just have 2 meals, that's also fine. And less than 10% of total energy intake should come from free sugars. So 2 chammach in chai 4 times a day, it's gone. आपका काफी हो गया. 2 चम्मच किसी का कितना. So even if you quit sugar, that's fine. I'm not saying sugar is bad, but if you quit sugar also, that's absolutely fine. Again, sugar की जगह jaggery की जगह honey. No, all are fructose. Body is going to take this, and micronutrients इनके अलग होंगे, लेकिन majority fructose लेगा, sucrose लेगा, या whatever is the glucose लेगा. The fruits are fructose and these are your glucose. So body लेगा और उसका अपना काम करेगा. The micronutrients, yes, they differ. Sodium should be less than 2000 mg per day. Why I have included sodium? Because preservatives बहुत है आज के मार्केट में. If you go now, नया fad है diet coke. So many people, all the clients in UK and all, they are every hourly they want diet coke. So they're like, madam, we'll take diet coke. Is that fine? It's okay if you plan that calories less, but keep on the diet coke. So then slowly we realized that why do you even need diet coke? You were doing fine. It's okay. I'm not against any company. If you're used to it, definitely take it. But this is just mine. That, you know, whatever you eat, more and more of preservative, it has sodium. So your 5 grams salt every day has 2,300 mg of sodium. So already you've crossed it. So why do you want to eat so much of sodium? And WHO says you should have less than 5 grams of salt per day. That is your normal 1 teaspoon. हम इससे ज़्यादा ही खा जाते हैं. That's why avoid sauces on table. Sauces are high in salt and preservative. I know it is easier said than done because I myself love sauces. So it's like every day you can't do it, but just be aware. And if अगर किसी बच्चे को अभी तक sauce की चटक नहीं लगी है, तो keep them away from it. Micronutrients, vitamins, best source are green leafy vegetables, fruits, and nuts. Avoid junk food totally. जहाँ avoid कर सकते हो, wherever you can say no. If your willpower is high, just say no because it will just give you instant gratification. That's all. Like the social media, they have very less PEF, they have high sugar spikes. So you just drink a glass of water instead. Don't even drink fruit juice. Then again, this is in action. How to eat right in action. Plan meals ahead. Don't wait for the hunger pangs to set in. So कल दोपहर को मैं क्या खाऊंगी snacks पे should be ready with you. You should know. इतने एलिमेंट्स खाने हैं, एक डिब्बे पे decided. पानी इतना पीना है, black coffee नहीं. That's all. या एक egg खाना है, 2 egg खाना है. If you wait for the hunger pangs to set in, you will eat anything which comes in your hand. And anything which comes in your hand means these processed foods जिसके पैकेट आपके घर पे पड़े होंगे. So first and foremost तो इनको निकालो, मत रखो. No biscuit. Easier said than done, but let's try it. So कम से कम ready-made material आप घर पे रखिए. Now there are no absolutes. Everyone sways. Everybody is a human. But get back on track in the immediate next day. This too shall pass. जैसे सर ने बोला. तो आपने खा लिया गलती से. It's okay. Next. Try and try. तो धीरे धीरे उसकी आदत हो जाएगी. Do not dwell in the past. कल मैं पार्टी में गया था, मैंने तो बहुत खाया, आज से मेरा सब बिगड़ गया, तो जाने दिया, मैं next month करता हूँ. No, start from today. It's okay. Detach emotions from eating. Food is not a prestige issue. मेहमान आ रहे हैं, 10 तरह के पकवान होने चाहिए, सब कुछ होना चाहिए, और उसमें वो मेहमान भी ऐसा निकला कि नहीं सब कुछ चाहिए ही चाहिए, फिर इसको इंसिस्ट करो, उसको इंसिस्ट करो, जबरदस्ती खिलाओ, तुम्हारा स्वीट. You know what happens if kids are watching? We are inculcating the same things in there. So food is a prestige issue. उसके आज जब हम पार्टी में जाते हैं तो इतना फूड होता है. No, basic है, simple है. Food is not the only thing to enjoy. Get together. Togetherness is more important. Unfollow food facts. Same thing. किनवा, कुछ किसको क्या खाना है, किसको क्या. Totally up to you, up to your cultural acceptances. Again, how to eat right? Slow down. घाई जल्दी खाना है, फटाफट खा के निकलना है. नहीं, slow down. Be thankful for the food you have on your plate. So in pandemic, if you are able to eat 2 to 3 meals per day, consider yourself lucky. Have gratitude. If you have somebody to cook for you at home, whoever it is, your own family member or the maid, be grateful because people do not have access to these also. Then when you go for shopping, write down the list before going grocery shopping. वहां पे नहीं सोचना है कि अब मैं ये भी लेके रखता हूँ, ये वाला भी मसाला ले लेता हूँ, ये चीज ले लेता हूँ, ये वाला लेके रखता हूँ. No. And don't go shopping hungry. अच्छा खासा खा के जाइए, so that you don't feel hungry and then you get into any restaurant. Drink water instead of beverages and fruit juices because उसका फाइबर निकाल के फेंक दिया है और उसमें से जितना भी शुगरी वाटर है वो आपको दिया है, उसने और शुगर मिला के मीठा बना के आपको दे दिया. Choose fresh berries instead of dry ones. Dry ones में भी बहुत concentrated होता है, water is lost, lot of sugar, they put sugar and salt to preserve. Clean eating matters. What is meant by clean eating? When you know what you have put it in your food. बाहर का we do not know what they have put. Of course, there must be good restaurants around. I also love eating at restaurants, but try to keep it to minimum. Don't make it a lifestyle. People are like, हफ्ते में 5 दिन मैडम मैं बाहर खाता हूँ, 2 दिन का कैलोरी दीजिए, 2 दिन का चार्ट. No, I will give the chart. My job is done. What about you? You have to adapt the lifestyle for a change in yourself and have enough sleep. Social media can wait. Many of us will realize that हम काम से मोबाइल तो खोल लेते हैं, लेकिन by the time रात के 12-1 बज जाते हैं, we are doing something else. So have a good sleep because if sleep is less, one tends to grow fat. Now when you are traveling, अभी तो पैंडेमिक में कम हुआ, लेकिन अब पैंडेमिक के रेस्ट्रिक्शंस जैसे ही हटेंगे, everybody is going to go on a traveling spree. So अब क्या? So know your optimum calorie intake. जो आप घर पे ये preparedly live करोगे, आपको आइडिया आ जाएगी मेरा intake कितना है. Know your calorie intake. Do not starve during the day. At least complete your protein intake. So protein intake may, you can have shakes if you want, you can carry an egg with you. It all depends on what is comfortable with you. Do not skip exercise for that day. Exercise, most of them are body weight exercise आपके hotel room में कर सकते हैं. Keep an active lifestyle, walk करिए, run करिए, travel के वक्त gyms होते हैं बहुत सारे hotels में, वहाँ जाइए if you like gymming. Drink plenty of water. Thirst is mistaken for hunger. बहुत बार we are thirsty but we feel we are hungry and we end up eating. So first, whenever you feel hungry, drink water. If you feel less hungry and your hunger is gone, your pangs are gone, you were thirsty. और अगर अब जाना ही पड़ा होता है तो order grilled food, baked food, then the creamy gravies. And eggs, milk, bread, curd, veggies, simple fruits बहुत easily मिल जाते हैं, हर जगह मिल जाते हैं. Now a note on coffee and green tea. So अगर आप कॉफी ले रहे हैं, ब्लैक कॉफी, ग्रीन टी ले रहे हैं और ब्लैक टी ले रहे हैं, तो उसमें कोई कैलोरीज एज सच नहीं होती है, वेरी नेग्लिजिबल वंस. कैफीन, कॉफी जो होता है, कॉफी बीन्स, कॉफी पाउडर में तो और भी माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स पाए गए हैं. सो यू कैन हैव देम एंड दे हैव स्टिमुलेंट अर्गोजेनिक इफेक्ट्स. इसके कुछ डोजेस है कि इसके ऊपर हुआ तो सिंथेटिक होता है, स्लीप जाता है, बट इट्स अ वेरी हाई डोज. फिर आपको बहुत हाई डोज मिलता है, व्हिच वी डू नॉट टेक इन आवर रूटीन लाइफ. सिंपैथेटिक स्टिमुलेशन हो जाता है if consumed in excess. मेनली डायबिटिक्स को ये आदत लग जाती है कि they try not to eat much, but they will have chai बार-बार बीच में. Coffee, I'm not sure if they have enough, but chai they will like. So you know they go into that spree. They will eat very less food, less proteins, and then they take a lot of tea. So try having black tea because that will make it less palatable and won't be dependent on it. Because most of us are craving for the milk and sugar rather than the tea. But if your coffee is like a nice big mocha and big coffee, so that is loaded with milk, sugar, cream, ice cream, and all these become calorie bombs. Once in a while is fine. Don't make it a lifestyle. And the ready-made powders, they may have excess sodium, so keep reading the labels. Now again coming to which flour is better, rice ka atta, गेहूं का आटा, ज्वारी का आटा, रागी का आटा, क्या? One may be better than the other in one thing, the other may be better than. तो ये चलता रहेगा because they are different. So this is endless. This is endless. You can have what suits you. बहुत बड़ा major difference नहीं बनाएगा. So what happens? गाड़ी अच्छी पटरी पे चल रही होती है, हम रोटी, सब्जी, दाल, चावल खाते होते हैं, then ad आती है, ये खाओ, वो खाओ, ये अच्छा है. Then हमको लगता है यार ये कोई wrong. You're following a healthy lifestyle. You're already following a healthy lifestyle. One sugar better than the other. One combination. पालक पनीर मत खाओ, मटर पनीर मत खाओ. Continue because ये चलते आ रहे हैं, खाए हैं लोगों ने, and you're not going to eat palak paneer every single day. One protein better than the other, one breakfast better than the other, one pattern better than the other, one juice better than the other. करेले का जूस ले लो, because if you like, definitely take it. But if you don't like, don't take it just because somebody said it's better. Have लौकी की सब्जी rather than लौकी का जूस. Now around everybody of us, there will be one perfectionist who will be like, नहीं अगर ये नहीं किया तो you are not doing healthy stuff. So गरम खाना ही चाहिए, फ्रेश बनाया ही चाहिए, बड़ा बड़ा मील चाहिए, सब कुछ चाहिए उसमें, चटनी, अचार, पापड़, एवरीथिंग चाहिए. मील्स फॉर प्लीजिंग समवन, उसको फेवरेट है, उसका जैसा है तो उसके लिए बनाओ. वो नाराज हो गया है उसके लिए कुछ तो बनाओ. बच्चे ने कुछ तो नाराज हो गया है, बच्चे को मार पड़ी है, उसके लिए बनाओ. Attaching this care, love, emotions to sweets and food, ending a meal with a sweet, मुंह मीठा हो जाए. Tasty and palatable food every single time. These are all actually bad habits. So see, these are privileges basically. Grow your own food, extract your own oil, milk from your own cow, eggs from your own poultry. I understand. ये तो perfect है. But see, we are doctors. We have to work hard. हम फिर हमको spiritual health के लिए ध्यान दे रहे हैं, mental health है, बच्चों के साथ time बिताना है, बाकी ड्यूटीज करनी है. अगर हम फूड को ऑब्सेशन के लिए लेंगे कि ये सब करना है तब भी आप परफेक्ट हो, नहीं तो आप सब कुछ गलत कर रहे हैं. इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. इट हैज टू बी डन इन मॉडरेशन. रिमेंबर द ट्रायड. सटाइटी, योर कन्वीनियंस गोल. बोलने वाले बोलते रहेंगे, बट कन्वीनियंस, सटाइटी गोल्स. अब आज के इरा में मोटिवेटेड क्यों हम नहीं रह पाते? तो हम सोचते हैं, सुनते हैं, करते हैं, फिर क्या होता है? डाइटरी पैटर्न में शिफ्ट हो जाता है. इमोशनल ईटिंग, किसी ने कुछ तो बोल दिया, जाने दे, आई एम नॉट फीलिंग गुड, आई ईट आइसक्रीम. फ्रिज में पड़ा है, आई ईट आइसक्रीम. फ्रीजर में कैडबरी पड़ी है, आई ईट अ लिटिल कैडबरी बिकॉज़ आई एम वेरी स्ट्रेस्ड. मेरा पेशेंट कुछ तो मुझे बोल के चले गए. रैपिड अर्बनाइजेशन, ट्रैवलिंग, देन फास्ट फूड डिलीवरी. यू नो, इवन आई डू इट समटाइम्स व्हेन आई एम लाइक आज का दिन बहुत खराब गया, डोनट ऑर्डर करते हैं. एंड इट्स वेरी इजी टू गेट अ डोनट, इट्स वेरी इजी टू गेट वैफल्स. बट ट्राई, आप ऐप तक जाओ, होल्ड द ऐप फॉर सम टाइम, उसको चूज करो, पेमेंट मत करो, उसको लेना मत, बाय मत करना, थोड़ी देर के लिए ऐप को हैंग कर दो, उठो, एक राउंड मार के आओ, यू विल रियलाइज यू डू नॉट वांट टू ईट इट एनीमोर. सो escape from these emotionally eating habits. Then universality of processed food, जिधर देखो आपको चिप्स मिल जाएंगे, जिधर देखो आपको फ्राइड फूड मिल जाएगा, कहीं भी मिल जाएगा. सो बचाओ अपने आप को. नो टाइम एट हैंड, इमरजेंसी ब्रांच है, अंडरस्टैंडेबल है, ओटी में लंबी लंबी ऑपरेशंस चलती है. So again, once in a while is fine, but if you plan your meals in advance, इससे भी आप डील कर पाओगे, because see, we have a special life. Doctors have a special schedules. They have different kind of life, so they have to take care of themselves. They can't give in to the fact that मैं busy हूँ तो मैं तो कुछ भी खा नहीं. You have to plan for yourself and will be able to achieve. Less help available होती है, तो cook simple stuff. And so मतलब less help है इसलिए फिर मैं अभी नहीं कर पाऊंगा, ऐसा नहीं. रेस्टोरेंट मिला, मील प्रेप्स बना के रखो, मील पैक्स बना के रखो, हो जाता है. रेस्टोरेंट एवरी कॉर्नर, तो वी कांट हेल्प दिस नो, बट मोटिवेशन, विल पावर will help. Now somebody at your home is cooking good food, कम तेल का, कम नमक डाल के, don't nag him, you know, be gratitude रखिए कि भाई कोई तो है जो आपकी हेल्थ का ध्यान रख रहा है. So these are the motivation etiquettes. Every person requires a lot of willpower to stay motivated. ऐसा कभी कुछ नहीं होता कि एक forever motivated person है, उसके भी ups and downs होते रहते हैं. In that case, they turn external. एक internal motivation होता है, अंदर से आना चाहिए कि मुझे ये करना है. Spouse ने बोला, बच्चों ने बोला, किसी को ड्रेस में फिट होना है, 4 महीने बाद मुझे शादी में जाना है तो अच्छा दिखना है, यूएस के ट्रिप में जाना है तो फोटो में अच्छा आना चाहिए. These are all external things. जैसे आपकी ये सारी चीजें खत्म हो जाएगी, आप बाउंस बैक कर जाओगे पुरानी लाइफस्टाइल. So that motivation has to come from within. So we all can motivate each other. So क्या करना है? Do not insist a motivated person. तो एक कोई motivated person है जिसने decide किया है कि मैं पिज्जा नहीं खाऊंगा. I'm not saying pizza is like entirely bad, but किसी ने कुछ गोल बनाया है. Do not insist कि चल रहे, कुछ नहीं होता, खा ले. Help him. Okay, नहीं चलता, we'll get something else for him. Do not force feed. You will see, you know, basundi and all that, gulab jamun, one more. These are bad etiquettes. Do not force feed. Do not make fun of others' goals. So somebody is saying, I'm going to lose 20 kgs this year. Do not make fun. It is very much possible. Slow and steady wins the race. Encourage when someone shares his goals with you. Do not nag the person who cooks for you unless they like grossly do something wrong. But do not nag them. You know, if the food is like less tasty, less palatable sometimes, you know, praise them. Say thank you, because you know, ready-made food milna bhi ek privilege hai. Ready-made healthy food milna bhi ek privilege. Avoid unhealthy foods as incentives. So बच्चे के मार्क्स बहुत अच्छा है, we all do this, we all are guilty, but हमें इसको कम करना होगा, या एटलीस्ट उनको बोलना पड़ेगा बच्चों को ये गलत है, let's you know switch to something else. या once in a while is fine. So unhealthy foods as incentive नहीं देना. Birthday parties में Cadbury ही, not exactly Cadbury, I don't want to take the name of any brand, chocolate, sweets, उसको incentives करके नहीं इस्तेमाल करना है. Joy को sweets से नहीं लिंक करना है. Joy को junk food से link नहीं करना है. In fact, if the kids have vegetables, link that with your joy. So you'll be able to, you know, reap the benefits later. Unfollow the trend of perceiving food as a sole means of enjoyment. तो भाई बोर हो गए यार, चलो बाहर जाके कहीं खा के आते हैं. I know this helps sometimes, but let's try to find some other means of enjoyment. And do not body shame. किसी को भी मोटा है तो, but it's his own journey, as sir said. He do not judge anyone. Everybody is going through a different problem. They have their own struggles. They have their own journeys. It's good not to body shame. नहीं किया. Words are so important. It's okay if you don't body shame. You can just give a smile. Then fall into the habit of reading the nutrition news. एक दो मैंने जानबूझ के डाले हैं just to show कि कैसा हो रहा है चीजें. Now this is some save, नमकीन सेव. And some will, you know, kilo juice में डाल देंगे. So you can't, you know, read calories. So 1 calorie is equal to 4.18 juice. Approximately 4 से divide कर देंगे. So this is diet poha. What I have taken this label. Now look, fats 23 grams. And these things, you know, you cannot stop at, you know, थोड़ा सा खा के. You will eat the entire packet. आराम से. 23 grams fat, 150 mg of sodium, carbs 43. So 50 grams of rice was giving you less carbs, and they will keep you full for longer. And so, and all these are fats. Vitamin A डाल दिया, vitamin C डाल दिया. Of course, fortified foods work, but fortified wholesome foods अच्छा है. So we have to, you know, learn these. Now this calories 400. Serving कितना है per container, कितना serving है, serving size कितना है, और calories कितने size के लिए दिए गए हैं. So this we need to keep reading. Again, these two are I have taken from a brand. The healthier atta version is this one, and this one is supposedly unhealthy. They advertise both, but the unhealthy version is this. But see the healthy version. So calories more in the healthy version. Proteins यहाँ 9.6 यहाँ 12 कर दिया. So hardly three proteins का difference है. Carbs healthy version में ज्यादा है. शुगर अब देखो हेल्दी करने के लिए शुगर डालना पड़ता है इसको पैलेटेबल बनाने के लिए. So 2.8 शुगर डालते हैं. So sugar again sucrose 1.1 1.5. Fat 14 fat 16 चलेगा. So what is healthy? What is healthy? So being doctors, we all can decipher all this very quickly. And if we put this habit in the kids also, they will learn to read the labels. आज नहीं कुछ सालों बाद आएगा, but every day तो थोड़ा थोड़ा कर सकते हैं. Supplement, a short note on supplements. I won't say anything about supplement right now because currently we are just discussing how to eat right. So we all are doctors, we know which supplement, when, why, how. Whey proteins आता है, multivitamins, essential omega-3 fatty acids आते हैं, vitamin D, calcium and fibers. Fibers also very important. Approximately 15 to 25 grams, 25 to 30 grams रोज आपके फूड में होने चाहिए. ये फाइबर्स आपके होलसम फूड से आ जाते हैं, कार्ब्स से अपना वेजिटेबल्स से आ जाते हैं, एंड फ्रूट्स विद स्किन अगर आप खाते हैं तो आ जाते हैं. बट if you want supplements in the form of isabgol or psyllium husk, that's fine. It's not wrong. Then optimum need for anabolism. तो आपका प्रोटीन आप जो खा रहे हो should also get structured into the respective muscles. For that you will have to do exercise and have to have an active lifestyle. So usually अगर आप calorie deficit में चले गए तो your muscles will also start getting wasted because काम का नहीं है. So you have to keep doing exercise. Will also recompose your body. Recomposition होता है body का. जो पहले आपका फैट ज्यादा था, मसल कम था, एक्सरसाइज से मसल बढ़ने लग गया, एक्सरसाइज एंड डाइट से फैट कम होने लग गया, वेट सेम रहता है. सो मेनी पीपल गेट स्टक ऑन दैट प्लेटो, बट देन वी इंसिस्ट कि आप मेजर करो, यू विल रियलाइज यू हैव लॉस्ट अ लॉट ऑफ इंचेस. एंड पुअर स्लीप कैन गेन फैट, सो वी हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ अ गुड स्लीप. Objectivity. How do you know you're making progress? Weigh yourself. It's okay, you don't have to weigh every day, you can weigh once a week. There are a lot of apps available, trackers available. So you can put in your measurements and you will see it in the form of graph. Waist, hips, arms, chest and neck. ये routine में measure करते हैं. Energy levels, खुद का level कैसा है? Quality of sleep कैसी है? Inertia होता है कि उठने का मन नहीं कर रहा, काम करने का मन नहीं कर रहा है. ये सब आपको समझना है. Loose, close होने लग जाते हैं. So you will understand. All these will show you the path. मतलब गाड़ी में तो बैठ गया लेकिन गाड़ी जा किधर रही? इधर जा रही, उधर जा रही, आपके गोल पे जा रही कि नहीं जा रही? So these all objectivity will help you to show you your direction. No beating around the bush. हाँ ये कर रहा मैं वो कर रहा मैं वो कर रही, पर कुछ तो लग नहीं रहा है, कुछ हो नहीं रहा है. Even हो भी रहा होगा तो आपके ध्यान में नहीं. So what to remember? Avoid smoking. Limit alcohol. Avoid alcohol. या दो नहीं ले रहे तो well and good. ले रहे तो limited. Avoid तो totally avoid smoking. Exercise. Have an active lifestyle. Stay hydrated. Hydration is also very important. Now this is for my friends who want to pursue fat loss. So there are some common myths. जिनको ऐसा होता है कि just a minute. So there are some myths in the fat loss journey. So some will say get up in the morning and have your just a minute. I'll just continue. उतना ही बचा है. So some will say have your this in the morning, chia seeds or some kind of seeds in the morning, and some will say just am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear
Hello,
you.
am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because just a minute, I'm unable to see. Just a minute. Yes. So should I stop sharing my screen, or has it stopped? I'm unable to see you.
Yes, ma'am, that web page is not loading.
Okay.
You can stop.
So
the-
I'm almost, I'm almost done with my. Is this sharing stop?
No, do you want me to stop it?
Yes, you can, please.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah. So I was almost done. So the last thing is, there are some myths. So myths are like they'll say have lemon water in the morning and don't eat carbs, don't eat rice, eat just so many meals a day. So these are all myths. When your calories in and calories out are counted, you're fine to do. Now again, the last slide what I was going to show was, only and only food is not important. Like how sir said, your physical health, your mental health and your spiritual health, they are equally important. So you have to have a binding between it. So when you're eating, you should have that gratitude, a positive energy that you're getting good food. At the same time, you have to meditate and take care of your spiritual self also. So all these together will help you to eat right. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Dr. Tejas?
Yeah, thank you, madam,
I'm done.
for
Thank
a
you.
wonderful lecture. It was very, very concise, precise, superb. So there are some questions which are put on just a minute. Questions. Yeah. Questions for madam. You have a question from regarding women's health, that patients who have PCOS, and is it that they need to forego?
No,
Just a minute.
no. Unless they are actually, hello, am I
Need to
audible?
forego the dude. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll just finish my question. So they say that they're asking whether they need to forego gluten and dairy.
No, see, again, that's a, I can actually read the question. I'm able to read the question. It has popped up on my screen too. See, now so many people are leaving gluten and so many people are leaving lactose for like unnecessarily. It's not like that. Now, not as far as I have read. I have read the recent editions of all the books, but none of them say that you need to steer clear of gluten or lactose if you are having PCOD. If you are allergic to it, if you are gluten insensitive, gluten sensitive, if you have IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, if you realize there are certain trigger factors which are affecting you, then you need to go to gluten-free stuff. Otherwise, it's fine. So brown rice, white rice is fine if you have the capability to digest it. Some people do not have those enzymes required to digest these, and they end up in flatulence, and that's why they are told to avoid gluten and the lactose. But if you can tolerate, it's fine. PCOD, most of it is associated with hypothyroidism also. And for PCOD, you need to plan your diet there. And you need to exercise because there's insulin resistance in PCOD. So you need to have exercises also. It's very important part of the, and they do respond, but they take time as compared to others. It's slow. 0.5 to 1% of your body weight is the rate of fat loss or weight loss, which is considered healthy.
Okay, so Namrata, I have a very precise question for you. Like you dietitians talk about, weight loss, muscle loss, fat loss. Is this a myth, or is it really possible to lose fat only and keep your muscle intact? So like someone wants to gain muscle as well as lose fat. I mean, is this a myth? Like a lot of there's a lot of research on this, which says that probably you have to have, you should not be getting into caloric deficit when you want to gain muscle. And so what are your views on this this very practical question?
See, three very clear things. Calorie deficit will lead to fat loss and muscle loss at the same time. But if you strength train and have your protein well, you will not lose muscle, but you will lose fat. Now, how much fat you lost is you cannot calculate. With those calipers you can, or with your inch loss and all, you'll feel and you can see your contours. So all that is fine. But if you are in a deficit, you cannot gain muscle. Only a beginner will have that advantage. A beginner who was never working out. So he started working out and now his muscles are a little bit coming into shape because he was never taking protein in the first place. For a beginner may have an advantage. So when you are in a calorie deficit, you will not gain muscle. You will lose fat. Why fat? Because your body water will keep going up and down. Your muscles, your strength training. So if you're not training, you're not exercising, and you're on a calorie deficit, that's not a healthy calorie deficit. And calorie deficit doesn't go prolong for years and years together. It's a short window, then you take a break. It's a short window and you take a break. So now then comes to maintenance. So maintenance, your weight will be maintained and your muscles will be like what if you train much. But if you want to actually bring on your muscles, you have to train very hard. So in calorie surplus, you have to take high protein. At the same time, the difficult part is eating all that, because people cannot eat so much of protein. They're not used to it. And training as per your muscle goals. Again, people have goals in their muscles. So it is very much possible to gain muscle in surplus. And of course, in surplus, they will gain fat too. But
Yeah, so
they gain muscle.
that's my exact question. So my precise question was that it is not possible to, just lose your fat and gain muscle. There will be a time when you'll have some fat as well. And so,
of course, and essential fat is important. You cannot get rid of your fat. In fact, the gents want 5% essential fat. The gents go down to 8%, and then they start surplus. So of course they'll gain a little fat also, but if they work hard and train hard as per the muscle goal and get proteins, they will develop muscles.
Yes.
Fat is required.
Sir, thanks, Namrata. Kedkar sir, there is questions for you as well. So Dr. Amit Pradhan asks you that how do you reduce stress of punctuality?
Punctuality, yeah. See, punctuality as such is good in a way, because you will find punctual and perfectionistic people on the top of the ladder. Like they are CEOs and they are MDs, because they are punctual and they are optimistic and they are perfectionistic. But when it starts troubling you, like when it is problematic to yourself and to others around you, then it needs to be treated by behavior therapy or hypnotherapy, punctuality. Because when it is a problem, problem to self or others, then you have to treat by behavior therapy and hypnotherapy.
Right. So there was another question that what is the role of hypnotherapy in cases of depression?
Yeah. In cases of mild depression, definitely hypnotherapy helps. Mild depressions. But in psychotic depression, when we know that is a psychotic depression, major depression, then hypnotherapy may not be good, because we have to treat them with antidepressants first. And then once they come out of depression, then we can think of psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, and other modes of therapy. Yeah. I think Tejas, you are.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. Kade sir, we have finished all the questions on the board. Any other comments, closing comments before we finish the CME? It has been attended very well, as all the queries have been answered by all the panelists. It has been very comprehensive. So, sir, please, your comments.
Thank you very much to all speakers, and especially Dr. Tejas for details of this fitness. He has organized it so nicely in part 2 and part 1 and part 2. It was probably well attended, and I think it must be useful to clarify our queries regarding fitness. I'm thankful to Namrata and Dr. Kedkar and all the attendees and IMA members. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. With this, we conclude the CME. Thanks to each and everyone.
Tejas, you are not audible. Tejas.
So, am I audible now?
Now, yes.
Okay, sir. So, sir, I thank everyone once again for attending.
Not audible. Again, you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tejas, you are audible. Probably there is something. I can hear you.
Your voice is breaking.
So anyways, once again, thanks to each and everyone for a wonderful attendance, as well as to all the panelists in part 1 and part 2. I hope we all have gained, at least I have gained a lot of insight into fitness, and it has inspired me to become, get fitter mentally, physically, nutritional wise, as well as, in endurance training. So I thank the whole team. I thank our president, IMA, Dr. Mahendra Kade sir, for allowing us this to conduct this very useful CME. The DigiShield team, especially Mr. Piyush Kade, for being a great tech support. And I would also like to thank MMC observers, Vyavharis sir and madam, for their support. So thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.